Hey there, and welcome to the third video in this very short series. So you will not be able to see me for this video because Canva is set up in a way that I don't want to interfere with the webcam being in the way of you being able to see what's actually happening. So today I want to show you how to use Canva. Canva is a free online program. It does have a subscription if you find the need for it. But generally just making online images that you're going to use. This is a really quick and simple program, and it's a great alternative to using Photoshop because it has some wonderful options. So the first thing I'm going to do is click Create a Design. This is after you've already set up an account and everything. You come in and you want to create a design. This is what we're going to be designing today. So this is just an example of what you can expect from this tutorial. So we're going to start with Create a Design. Then you can choose one of these, and they have Facebook cover and Facebook post and some things like that already set up. But I know that I want to use Pinterest, and I know that I want it to be a specific dimension. So we're going to do 736 pixels by 1200. And the reason I'm choosing 1200 is because of that image we did in prior tutorials that we did 1200 by 1200. So this is going to size it down width-wise, but height-wise I want to keep it the same so that we have a little room to work with. And that's going to open up a new window, so we'll let that load. And it's going to start you out with just a blank canvas. And Canva has some cool options if you wanted to do multiple images as far as setting up some grids. But I really just want this one area, and that's it. So then you're going to go to Uploads. I've already uploaded my images, but if you hadn't, you would hit the Upload button and find them on your computer through your file system. You could also, if you had it open in a file folder off to the side, you could just drag it in to the window. So what I'm going to do is actually just drag and drop this image I already have here. So this was our 1200 by 1200 that we set up either in Paint or Photoshop. And so I'm going to resize this element by dragging it around. And I want to get it to a height of 1200, and you can see that here in the corner when it's at 1200 by 1200. There we go. And then we're going to drag that around so that it's perfectly centered because I want those guys in the middle still. Alright, the next thing that I want to show you is that Canva has built-in filters that are really nice. And at first it's going to look like you don't have a whole lot of options here, like maybe you just have brightness and contrast. And I actually like using the drama for this particular photo, and it's going to show you that you only have an option of intensity here. So I'm going to tell you, don't worry about that, because if you go to advanced options, you go right back into some of those things that we talked about in Photoshop, where you've got brightness and contrast. Saturation you may or may not use. So the brightness I want to bring up just like we did in Photoshop, because I really think this brings out photos for online use. The contrast I may bump up a little bit to bring out that turquoise color again. The saturation I think I'm going to remove. And then we're also going to bring down this blur some, which is going to sharpen the image. So it doesn't say sharpen, but that's essentially what it's doing. And then I'm going to add to that vignette just a little bit, which is going to bring in kind of this shadowing around the images. You can also play with this X process a little bit if you wanted to. Make it look like a little bit older of an image, or, a little bit more like what we had done before. So I'm going to take that back to the 80, because I liked that. And then at this point you can just click out of here, I think. Yep, there we go. And there you have it. So if you wanted to just leave it like this, you could post it, no big deal. But I like adding, especially for something like Pinterest, what it is that you're advertising. If you're using this for Facebook, you don't want to include any text, as that could actually have your ad not be approved. And you don't want that. But for Pinterest, you want text because it kind of brings in the reader. So again, they have all these nice options. Ooh, sorry. Got all these updates wanting to happen. They've got all these nice options that are free, and then they also have some paid options, I'm sure if you scroll down far enough. I actually just want to use, let me go back up to the top here, I liked this first one for this image. So we're just going to keep it very simple. We're going to center it at the top, and then we're going to replace the text, and I'm going to say how to use graphics online. And you see how it resizes it for you already, which is just very user-friendly interface that they've added here. And a lot of people who have Adobe Photoshop will still use this because it's a great way, it's quick and easy to set up your images to prepare for online use, especially if you want to add text or if you want to add filters. And then I am going to change the text here, so I'm going to go with actually some of the colors that we use for the design scribe. Oh no, I didn't want that one. I want, there we go. Alright, so that's cute. And then I also want to add in a subheading here. And I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to say a tutorial for Photoshop and Canva. And I don't like this font, so they have all sorts of free font options here. You can load up your font, but I suspect that requires a subscription. I'm not sure. I've not played with this enough to know. I liked, it was in the C's, I think. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe it was this one. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's nice thin. And then I'm also going to change this to the blue. I want to maybe take up the size just a hair. And then we're going to bring this out so it looks like that. And I want to move this back to the center if I can find it. There we go. Alright, and then the last thing I did, I added a tag at the bottom to say kind of my own little branding, who this is, who's posting this. Alright, and I suggest, always if you're going to use stock photos that you make sure you have the rights to them. So in this case, I'm using a stock photo that I do have the rights to use commercially or personally if I wanted to. So just make sure you're always looking at the licensing on the photos that you use. Canva does offer images if you want. So I could type in something like orange, and it will bring up, if I press enter, some images of orange, what they think is orange, either the color or oranges themselves. Canva does charge you $1 to use any of their stock photography, but once you pay that price, you can use it however you like. They also have elements that you can add in, like frames, which kind of just goes back into the whole grid thing as far as I've noticed, or you can add in things like this, which will allow you to have a photo with that nice little pink stripe, and you can change the color of the pink stripe too. So you can add some design elements to it. There's all sorts of this kind of stuff all the way through here. Some of them are free and some of them are not. So this is really cool if you kind of want to do like a mobile design or idea as well. You've got all sorts of options that are out here. And then some of the other elements that they have include adding lines. So if you wanted to add a little flourish underneath your text or at the bottom of your image, you certainly could. Many of them, again, are free, and some of them are paid when you get down far enough. Illustrations, again, many free, many paid. Icons, charts, and if you wanted to add something like I love Canva at the bottom, you could, to kind of give them a little branding call out. And so charts that are completely editable to whatever your needs are in case you're building a graphic that may lay out specific information that you're just trying to put together. Alright, so then you have text, and you do have background options as well. Again, free and paid. So you've got all sorts of options. You can do layering. They do offer the ability to add transparency, so if I didn't want this to be as obvious, I could take it down. So there's all sorts of options you have in here. It's got a great amount of uses to it, and is an excellent option if you don't want to use Photoshop or don't want to pay for Photoshop. It doesn't completely replace Photoshop, but it's a good option if you need it. And then what you do once you are finished is go to download, and in this case we're going to do image for web, and it will download, and I already have this ready. The good news is it looks exactly how it is, and then you would just go into Pinterest and pin it just like you would any other image. And so that really concludes kind of what we have. You can share it on Facebook immediately or tweet it as well. And that's pretty much it. So I hope this tutorial was helpful. If you have any questions, comment below, and let me know if you were successful. Thanks. Bye.